Agree with the moderator nor Reverend Robinson that we want some kind of agreement. We want agreement by which we can live or die. You choose. If you won't listen to me when I make an appeal for the Negroes because you have no concern for the Negroes, listen to me when I make an appeal for America. You claim you love America. Well, we love America. But you are driving us back and you are making a Samson out of us, and we are going to pull down the pillars. Should you try to pretend that I'm crazy because I want America to be saved? And then you think we have no right to ask for something? Is it too much to ask you to grant us human dignity? Should we be put down and shot to death for this request? If so, you can aim your guns. What the hell do you think we care about dying if you're going to deny us the right to live?
Good evening, everybody. How you doing? All right. Welcome to BMU's channel. Yep. And he gave me the floor again. I don't know why he keeps going back to the well, I guess, So anyway, we're going to talk about choices today. And I did a 7-minute video on my channel because my hat is crooked. I'm going to take it off if I can't get it straight. We did a 7-minute video on my channel about choices and the way choices shape our lives. Let me go bald, man. What the hell, man? There you go. I look better this way anyways. Anyway, so how's everybody doing? Good evening. Good evening. We're going to talk about a little bit of stuff in choices and how choices have shaped our lives, how choices identifies our choices are the receipts for the accountability we must take in life. And no matter how you try to hide from it, you are where you are today based on the choices that you've made. And now, I'm not so sure how many people actually think about their lives that way. Every so often I contemplate, and I got a couple of things I want to share with you just to kind of illustrate that point. And, as we get some more folks in here, maybe we'll chop it up as to exactly what I mean. So yeah, I got a camera enjoying the conversation. Yeah, I see what you're saying over there, BMU. Let's get some folks up here in this to come on a conversation before we just jump on into it. And a couple of folks said they were going to come by and we could talk about choices. And and then I'm gonna just, unless they come up or not, I'm gonna just keep rattling until they show up. One of the things that I wanted to talk about was how I got to where I am today without going through all of that stuff. And I have something to illustrate that point. Back in the 70s when I pledged into a fraternity, one of the things they did was make us read poems. They made us read poems. I mean, it seems kind of weird because only thing people think about fraternities, especially back in the 70s, was hazing and how hard it was to get there. But one of the things that the brothers did was ask us to read poems. So and the poems always had meaning to real life. And if some poems were better than others. I mean, we read if you can keep your head while all others were losing theirs. That's a poem by a gentleman named Henley. And then there was another poem called Invictus. So I think that's a must read for all men, women too, but for mostly men. I thought that was a great poem that people should know by heart. Out of the night that covers me, black as a pit from pole to pole. I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. That's a great poem. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced or cried aloud. In the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloody but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shade. And in the menace of the years, it'll find and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how straight the gate, how charged with punishment the scrolls. I am the master of my fate. I'm the captain of my soul. We used to have to say that all the time, and it had meaning, as a college student, as a black man in Buffalo, New York in the 70s, it was a different time back then. So those poems came in handy, Uh, Again, that also has an element of the choices you make, right? Being accountable for the things that you do. And that's one of the things I wanted to talk about today was choices and how that leads to accountability. And of course, the number one poem for choices is called "The Road Not Taken," and everybody should at least have a copy of "The Road Not Taken" by Robert Frost as well. We're looking for a few other folks to come join in the chat. So I'm looking out, and we got a couple of folks coming in. I know it's early for a lot of you people. It's 6 o'clock. So we got a big rainstorm out here in New Jersey, and hopefully we'll have power all the way through, and give you guys a chance to show up and participate, because I think everybody has a story to tell when it comes to choices. And it'd be nice to see if we could chop it up. Hey, Easy Money Jones, how you doing, brother? All right. Be nice to chop that up, because I'd be interested in hearing some of the choices that you guys have made that landed you where you are right now. And so choices are good. Some of them are bad. Hopefully you don't have any ugly ones. But I know with my kids, one of the things I told my daughters is that, you're going to have an opportunity to make choices in your life. Just make sure you don't make any that you can't come back from. That's the key. Some of your choices are going to be subconscious. Some of them might be unconscious, but but that's not good. But I think not too many people kind of weigh the impact of the choices they make and the ramification thereof in the future. Okay, because I don't think, I've been on these panels for a year now, and until now, I haven't really heard anybody talk about the impact of choices. I hear about a lot of people trying to run away from the accountability of the choices they make, both men and women. Women for their sexual activity, and men for the women that they marry. If you're a man, you're the one who's the gatekeeper. If you marry a whore, you're accountable for that. Maybe a messed up marriage is the responsibility of both of you guys, but you're the one who let her in. You can't get away from that. And I have one for the women, but I don't even want to say it. I don't even want to go down that road. But anyway, hey, listen. So without further ado, I'd like to just kind of get on with talking about the road that's taken, right? The road not taken. And I'm going to go through this, and then we could talk about what it means to each other when we do that. Hey, man, what's going on, Ruthless? How you doing, man? Just give me a second, man. We'll get to you. Well, before I do it, Got anything to say on the topic, man? Go ahead and get your little since you're here, you got a little opening thoughts on the topic of choices. You hear me?
Do our choices inform or expose our level of accountability of outcome? Now, that's a bit complicated.
Okay, I can't. Maybe I'm not hearing you good
Can you
enough.
hear me?
Yeah, I hear you a little bit. Maybe I speak a little loud. Go ahead.
Baby, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, so
Say that again.
can you hear me now?
Yeah, no. I mean, you said something before that. I hear you now. I hear you.
No, I was just I heard you say that men have to be accountable for who they married, right? And speaking to the topic, do our choices inform or expose our level of accountability of outcome? Um, that's subjective.
Yeah. Okay. And that's
Yeah,
fine. It could be
yeah.
subjective, but it's undeniable, right? I mean, the impact might be subjective, but your accountability is not.
But it depends on what you're meaning by accountability. What am I what am I self accountable for, right? So when you're
So,
speaking of marriage, correct?
no. That's just an example, right? That's an example. If the woman you marry is your choice, she had to say yes, but you open the door. You can't get away from that. How do you get away from that?
Okay,
So
so
we can chop that up a little bit more because I'll come
yeah, yeah.
back to that. But
All right,
let's talk about that because
yeah,
that's one of the things that we can hit on, get some more folks on the panel.
yeah.
Because I look at that as the same thing as a woman who opens her legs to a man, right? She is accountable for opening her legs. Not that she's the only one responsible for the outcome, whether it's disease or a baby or that. They're both responsible, but it don't happen unless she opens her legs. And let me tell you, the full faith of the law backs that shit up at every level, local, state, federal. She has to say yes, or there's no thing going on. So no matter how much the man wants it, she's got to do it. So I say kind of the corollary for men is you can't force a woman to marry you, but you can offer. And if she says yes and you let her in and she's a ratchet chick, whose fault is that?
Okay, so right there, that's where I have kind of have a pushback, right?
Okay. All right. So hold on to that thought, man. We'll get
Yeah.
back to we'll get we could chop that one up.
All right,
All right.
all right.
All right. So listen, I want to go and I'm gonna go way out on a limb and say my one of my favorite poems. And I don't want nobody in the audience to laugh if I make a mistake. Yeah. Anyway, so listen, this is a poem by Robert Frost about choices, about the impact of the things that we decide to do in our lives. And it applies to everybody, men, women, anybody who's a discerning adult. And the only one that this poem, the only kind of people that this poem doesn't apply to is children, because adults make choices for children. But as far as adults are concerned, everybody has a story to tell about the choices in their lives, good, bad, or the ugly. So this is called A Road Not Taken, right? So I'm gonna go through it now and just listen up. It's not that long. Two roads diverge in the yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both and be one traveler. Long I stood and looked down one as far as I could to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear. Though for there, the passing there had worn both equally the same. And both that morning equally lay, the leaves no step have trodden black. Oh, I kept the other for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I'd ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence, two roads diverge in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. And I think everybody has that kind of story. I know I do. Uh, about some of the decisions I made in my young life and where I'm at today. And I have an example of that. But uh, and maybe I can get through my example, and then we can chop it up. I don't know if Easy Money you were gonna come up, but that'll be cool too, because I know you got some story to tell. So we on. I think we hit on it at one point. So BMU, can you bring up my little raggedy thing that I had? That I sent. I can explain it when we bring it up as an example. I don't know how well it's going to look on this when you do, but just bring it up, and I want to talk about a couple of those sheets of paper so I can illustrate my point. You got me back there. Anyway, so how you doing, brother? I see you've been around on the panels.
Who, me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't, I'm on a here and there, here and there, a little bit everywhere.
Yeah, I know. Actually, I know exactly what you mean. So, BM, you heard me? I'm ready for those sheets if you're ready. If you heard me, I'm not sure if you did. All right, what's going on, Red Planet? I see you out there. Trey Ferg, I see you. What's going on, brother? I know you got some stories to tell. Who else we got in the back chat? Marcus, thanks for showing up. Clement Gray, I appreciate you showing through. Yeah, Easy Money, of course. Always good to see you. I don't know if BM you heard me about the. I'm ready for that sheet. If you hear me, I'm not sure. I don't know if you can hear me or not. Let me put something in the back chat. Okay, I got you. I'm sorry. I see the back chat now. I'm back there. I understand. Give you a second. We got to get my man CBN back here to help you out. Anyway, anybody else coming up? You could anybody else coming up? I don't know if you coming up, Easy Money. I always want to beat you down. Trey Ferg, if you got the link, you can pop up too. Other than that, so while we wait, go ahead, man. So give me a little bit more about your pushback, bro.
I mean, the word choice is a bit foggy.
How you figure that?
Right? Because every relationship's a gamble. Every marriage is a gamble. You're rolling the dice, right? You can't really know. No. You don't, because people can change. People will be one way for a long time and be another way for another long time, right?
No, I agree. I agree with that.
And let's be honest. Let's be honest, right? Let's be honest, right? Even in relationships, most relationships that stay together for the long haul, to stay in it, a lot of them relationships are divided. A lot of households are divided, and I don't even like each other. Some of them doing it for the kids. Some of them doing it just for, showmanship. There are very few and far and in between that are completely happy and completely togetherness in everything, right? It's very far and in between. I'm not saying there ain't no one, but it's very few. But most percentages of households, whether relationships or marriage, are divided on a lot of different issues. Now, to one's choice accountable. If my wife wakes up one morning and says, I'm walking, right? Or she wants to go and be with other men and do different things, right? That accountability does not follow me, right? That accountability does not follow me, right? Because she took the wedding vows. She took the same, we both had the same contract. We both had the same aspirations, right? We both were sharing and pillow talking about how we want our future together. And then 5 years down the line, after maybe a kid or two, she wakes up, says she's not happy anymore. She just wants to go out and love herself, right? That does not follow me. I'm not accountable for her actions in that aspect.
Let me chime in there, because she made a different choice. It's still a choice. She made a choice to wake up that morning and destroy her marriage. No, you're not accountable for that. You are accountable only for marrying her in the first place. That's what I'm
Oh,
talking about. So we also see that doesn't negate the fact that you made a choice to open that gate to let her in, or that she made a choice to say yes. That's what I'm talking about. We all make choices, and even though time changes certain things, that doesn't change the initial choice. It really doesn't. It's a ramification. It's a change. It's a modified until a person makes a new choice. Like you said about the fact that marriages. I don't know where you get this evidence that marriages are still together, but they have a lot of trouble. Well, the ones
yeah.
who are still together, well, we say that, but if they're still together, how do we know they're just not making a choice to make it work?
Well, so
You
I'm
know,
just saying,
so
like,
so
we do have data, we do have proof,
no,
right?
no, no. Yeah, no, we do have data
Yeah,
about the
that most
marriages.
marriages,
Well, no,
ain't
no, we
gonna.
have we have data that the marriages that they asked some people, they said we're unhappily married. We don't the marriages that are still
Okay.
together. I think we can't just assume that those are unhappy marriages.
No,
We
no,
know that there are some, but that still
but we,
doesn't.
but
I'm
we
with you.
do have,
I'm with
we do have enough data, right, of stories, right,
yes.
that back in the days, a lot of grandmothers and a lot of aunties were unhappy in their with
You
their
know, I think.
situation, and hold on, so they
Okay, good.
complained about it. They came on a lot of talk shows. They did a lot of stories about, yeah, I stayed in it for the kids. We did it for the kids. Um, Sexless marriages is what this talks about. I mean, we go on and on, right? This is a thing. This is a thing. Sexless marriages. How people just try to not grow apart, but the to consensus, and for the most part, most marriage relationship, most people grow apart. And this
Yeah,
is something.
you keep using
This
this
is
word
something.
most. I disagree
This.
with the most.
Well, I'm just saying. Well, yes. When we're at a 70 to 80% clip, Mr.
Of
Arpain.
divorce, of
Oh,
divorce.
that's what I said. Divorce. That's what I just said.
Well,
So
but
if
the
you're
ones that,
divorcing,
no,
if it's
well, wait a minute, hold on for a second. Before you keep going, of divorce, I agree with you, but you
no,
can't say the ones that are still married are no good, right?
no.
So,
I'm
but
just making a point.
that's still beside the point. The point
No, I'm
is
just,
that they're making another choice.
no,
You can make more than one choice.
not saying that. But what I'm saying is, all I'm saying. Let me hear you. What I'm saying. I'm just adding context, right? All I'm saying is, yes, there are many marriages out here, many relationships, right?
We already got that.
Okay,
All right.
so we understand that choice, right? A matter of who we pick, who find a person that we're most compatible with, that we have the admiration for, right? So most
Right.
men and women, when they're in the stages of courting or dating, whatever it is, they are both coming to a neurological conclusion that, okay, this is a person for me, right? They're cutting everybody off for the most part. This is who I'm dealing with. This is who I'm gonna try to make this happen with. And
Okay.
yeah, you have a few bumps in the road, but right, what makes it a great relationship is that you work through them things. Now, all I'm saying is, in word of accountability, yeah, is there accountability to go around for each party in a relationship? Well, nobody's perfect, right? You're never going to have an unflawed person in the world that you're going to marry, right?
Accountability doesn't have anything to do with you being perfect,
No.
right?
I'm just saying that. I'm just saying that if you're looking for somebody to be accountable, right, for because they're unhappy, they don't want to be with this guy anymore,
No,
right?
no. Okay, so
So they're gonna they're
no,
gonna put they're
I
gonna
heard
put
you.
themselves first.
Hold on
They're
for a
gonna.
second,
I'm
brother.
almost done.
I heard,
I'm almost done. If they're gonna
well,
put themselves
you
first,
keep going back
right?
over the same thing. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying I'm just finished. I'm gonna land the plane.
Okay.
If they're gonna put themselves first, right, and move on from this relationship or marriage, then you could say, oh, well, should they be accountable? Well, they don't think they should be held accountable because they feel they're doing what's best for them.
No, listen. I, it's a good debate to start with. Let's just talk about men and women. I'm talking about the fact that a man gets married to a particular woman. He has to ask her, right? If he asks her to marry her and he doesn't do the proper vetting, then whatever happened in that relationship, right, he's accountable for the woman he marries. If things go awry, they're both responsible for certain activities that happen within the marriage, but he has to take accountability for the woman he marries. Joe Smith married a whore, right? He's accountable for that, right? The fact that she's a whore and she destroyed him publicly, some of that responsibility is on her shoulders and is on his shoulders. But the accountability to let her in the first place is his and his alone. He didn't have to marry her. He should have never married that woman.
Well,
He could just, wait a minute. You had a chance to talk. Let me just say what I'm saying. Because he's accountable for that. He can't deny that. Everybody, I'm accountable for the fact that I married my wife. Right? I'm accountable for it. I'm not saying she's not responsible for some of the activities that go on after we were married. I'm not trying to absolve her of that. When a man gets a woman pregnant, he's accountable for the pregnancy. He's accountable for the disease if she catches one. But he is not, I mean, he's responsible for the pregnancy, responsible for taking care of that kid. But he's not accountable for her opening her legs. There's no conversation you could possibly have for me that says that he owns her womb to make her do that. And I argue with with women on that shit all the time, because the law of the land says until she consents to let a man in, he can't get in unless he's doing a criminal activity. And I don't even want to argue about that shit. It's true everywhere. So a woman is responsible for her womb. We are not. Now, whatever happens, well, wait a minute. If you're going to argue that, then we don't have no basis for discussion, because it's true. Because a man can't.
Discussion is the relationship is a gamble, right? So once again,
okay, but what does the gamble have to do with it?
So what that means is. What that means is, to define it, to add context, is that you're only hoping, right, as duration of your relationship or marriage, that your partner or your loved one, that you guys should keep the flame alive, that y'all can continue to fight the battle of the world trying to tear y'all apart. Right? Yeah. This is only a hope. This is not a guarantee. Right?
No, it's not.
Hold on. There is no guarantee, right, that you marry.
I'm gonna let Red Planet in there. Nobody's talking about guarantee.
That's what I just said. You argue with me. There's no guarantee. There's no guarantee that a marriage, our relationship is going to last the duration of time.
Ruthless.
So. Well,
wait a minute.
I'm not going to hold myself accountable because
you got to learn to play somewhere.
I'm going to land the point right now. I'm almost done. I'm not going to hold myself accountable because maybe her past, maybe she had a high body count, right? Or maybe she had something that was imperfect about her, but I took a gamble because I truly love this woman.
Let's stay on point.
And then it didn't work out. I'm just going to take the loss.
Ruthless, I don't mean to cut you off. You can't just keep going on because I understand your point.
I was done. I was finished. 5 seconds, I'm going to land the plane.
No, you keep saying that because I hear you. I hear you. But before you go off on a tangent, nobody's asking for guarantees, right? When you vet a woman, it's a risk reduction plan. Every man has to reduce the risk to say, this is the one for me. There's no guarantees. If you're looking for guarantees, I certainly am not up here telling people about guarantees. But whether it's a guarantee or not, whether it's risk or not, that still doesn't change the fact that you make a choice. It really doesn't. And before me and you go forward, I want my man Red Planet to say hello and say whatever he has to say. Because you know what? Before you say that, Ruthless, I don't 100% disagree with where you're coming from because we got to chop it up. So we could chop it up some more. But
I still see you got your sword with you with the armor.
Go ahead, Planet. Go ahead, man.
Hey, thanks for having me up here, Payne. This is what I think, man. I would like to pose this question.
Okay.
Do you think that the risk is higher than it used to be. The risk for a man with modern women, Sexy Red. I'm just put it out there. Sexy Red and Sukiana and whoever else, twerking and all this other stuff. Is the risk higher now for men for betting a wife and actually and like her switching up on you or her shape shifting on you? What do you think is the risk higher?
The risk is higher, but if you're a man choosing one of those two women that you mentioned, you deserve what you get. Okay, you know what I'm saying? I know that you're just using them as illustrative purposes. The risk is higher only because more women today are hiding behind the modern feminist tropes, right? And all I'm just trying to say is you need to be able to ferret that shit out. Because I don't want to condemn all women because they all look like transvestites now, but that's not the point, right? So the point is you gotta stand on your male thing to try to ferret those chicks out. But before we go on, BMU, I know you had those things up, and I'd like to go ahead and get that out of the way if I can, and then we could talk about chopping it up with Ruthless and Red Planet and whoever else want to come up. I just want to go through those things for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, just to talk about choice and get it off from just relationship kind of thing, right? Because I think just those two pieces of paper will give you a better illustration of what I'm talking about. So everybody kind of listen up. This first page to your left, whether you could read it or not, if you look at the date, it was 1987. I was married in 87 in August. This is December. And I had my job with the federal government. And the federal government said to us, I was under an old pension plan called the Civilian Service Retirement Plan. So they came out in the federal government and said, listen, we want to retire. We want to sunset that old plan. And we want you to go to this new one called FERS. If you look up at the top left, the Federal Employee Retirement System, which exists today. So my old plan that I was on, because I was grandfathered, would pay you 80% of your high 3 years, right? So if you're a high grade federal employee and you work for 40 years, you would get 80%. Which is pretty good. So if you're making $200,000, you get 80% of that shit, right? As a pension. They don't even give out pensions no more. So it was a real pension. So you didn't have to do anything other than just stay for 40 years. This new plan that they wanted us to switch to had a combination of Social Security and your 401k plan. Now, everybody knows that you have to contribute to your 401k plan, right? So back in 87, it was a good idea. I had a 401k plan anyway, but the 401k plan under this system is primary for your retirement. And so when it came time for me to make a choice, I stayed with the old system. And the fact that I stayed in the old system, fast forward to 2023, is exactly why I'm retired right now. Because if I would have switched, I would have never had enough money to retire in that period of time. Because this FERS plan, presupposes that over your entire working career, you would never have any hardship that would curtail you from investing into your 401k. And very few people's lives is that smooth where they could max out every year without any kind of hardship that would take away from your pension, right? So my choice was not to switch. And that little X there that says no was one of the biggest, most impactful decisions I've ever made in my life, right? And I found this because when I was retiring, I saw this pop, I was going through some of my old records and I said, shit, man, I haven't seen this in years. And then all I thought was, this was one of the best decisions I've ever made. So, and I also had a decision. I married my wife in 87 too. So it was 2 decisions that year. Usually they say people can't make more than 1 big decision in a year. I made 2, So this is from 87. From 1987 this decision not to switch my pension has made all the difference on the fact that I'm here talking to you guys on YouTube right now, waking up at 10, 11 o'clock, as opposed to still working. That's what I mean by choice. It's not just relationship shit, but this shit was impactful, you know? And I hope you guys get what I'm talking about. So do you have any records that say, shit, man, I'm glad I made this decision instead of that? This is a tangible receipt of me making a decision that made all the difference in my life. You know, and so the other sheet on the right is a sheet with competition for a promotion. So if you look at the top, it says GS, 804, 854, GS 15, which was a pretty big, promotion back out. This was like the year 2000. And I wasn't even going to compete for this job. So just so happens that the guy who ran this organization ran into me in the parking lot, and he asked me, are you going to put your hat in for that job? And I said, come on, man. This shit's an inside job. He stopped and he looked at me, he says, not this one. He says, listen, man, do me a favor, put your paperwork in and compete for this job, And so where I was a 14 or something at the time, this job meant like maybe around $10,000 a year promotion, more money. So I put the paperwork in and I got an interview, and my interview process changed the way they did business out at the facility forever. Right? I changed the whole game. Right. So my name is there, Richard Payne. If you can't see on the end, I won. It was me against 4 other white folks. I won and I got the job. That extra money put my kids through school. That extra, just doing all that, put my kids through school, got me my house, got all of that shit. It was a choice because I was close to not even putting in for it. It was a chance meeting. So all I'm just trying to say is we can talk about relationships and everything else. That's a nice little thing when we talk about choices. But we make all kinds of choices all the time. And there's two choices with my receipts that said this shit made a lot of difference in my life. And everybody else out there, not just men, women too, probably could point to something that has shaped their life that they're living today. And that's some of the conversation I want to get to too, not just whether you're married and have sex with and all that shit. So you can take these down, BMU. I just wanted to illustrate the point that, these 2 pieces of paper out of all the shit that I had, I saved these 2. I didn't save a lot of other stuff, but these 2 pieces of paper, man, I saved, and I still have them. Anyway, I didn't frame them, so I'm not that bad off, but it just jogged my memory. And that's why I had made that video about choices and put it on my channel. So we could take these down. But you guys see my point, Ruthless? You see my point, Red Planet? Just the choices.
I mean, I see what you're saying. I mean, I'm not, and you got blessed, right? You got blessed, right? Not everybody. Some people,
yes, I did. I mean? Like, you don't have your own example, brother. Don't you have your own example?
But just like in life, right? There are going to be some who win and some who lose. It's just the way the game goes. No matter how you do. Look at all the basketball players who practice and worked on their game for hours, right? Knee went out, or a job person was great at the job, or maybe back went out and caught injury on the job and was able to come back. And there's so many different variables to make it in this world. That's why only 15% of the most, successful to do people in the world. You ain't gonna just say in the world, and that's where it's always going to be. That's always been like that. So because a person is out here striving to be great or striving to in their purpose, that doesn't mean they're any less successful than you are, right? They just another way might be done. So I hats off to the men who are out here still getting it, and the ones who have climbed the mountain You've been blessed. The ones who are climbing the mountain, keep climbing.
Yeah, in a general conversation, I hear what you're saying, but the truth of the matter is, everything you said still gets boiled down to the choices that those guys make. Now, so we understand that life is a continuum, but sometimes, there's discrete steps in life too. So whether you want to, I don't want to say you don't want to admit it, but you've made some choices, good, bad, or ugly, Rufus, that put you where you are right now. Whether you want to admit it or not, whether you want to say that there's other variables here or not, there's some discrete shit that you did. Whether you think about it all the time or not, that's another matter. That puts you where you are. Red Planet is where he's at now, based on some of the stuff that he made. It don't always have to be good; it could be bad.
Now, let me tell you this, right? To push that.
What's the pushback? You can take this down.
Do you know my story?
No, but it's up to you to tell it.
I thought you knew it. That's why I asked you.
No.
So my story is, I did a lot of jail time, a lot of penitentiary time.
See, now you shedding some light on there. Okay, so now you shedding some light.
What I'm saying to you, and at this point, I'm retired. I just retired 2 years ago, and right, and thank God for that. So, but if you see here the story of my life, right, the things that happened in my life would make me be at this point very unlikely, right?
Okay.
Very unlikely. Not only I'm in jail once, but I went into twice. I did a 10.5 year stint in the feds for armed bank robbery, and then I've done about a year and a half, a little over a year in the state for commercial burglary, which is dealing with money, right? So my thing was, I was, masterminding criminal activity, right? So that was my career for the most part, and in the better part, I did a lot of time for it. So when I got out a few years ago, right, I was working in a restaurant washing dishes just to stay off, because my parole officer was on my back talking about, man, you got to get a job or we're going to violate you. And I had parole and probation, federal probation and state parole on my back. So I had to do something. So my bottom line is, but if you see my life now, I don't know if you've been on my IG, I don't know. You would say, wow, how is this possible? There's no way. This guy doesn't even have a 10-year career. This guy doesn't even in successfully, right? So things can happen. Things can happen for people regardless of the choices you think they make.
Well, wait.
Some people can do all the right things and die tomorrow.
Right. I'm just saying,
some people can do all the right things and not be successful, right? Some people can do all the wrong things and be successful. Right. So the outcome is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get.
Well, the point is that we're in 100% agreement, because I'm not passing judgment on the outcome. I'm saying the fact that you did some time because you made a choice to do something. Right? And wait a minute, hold on now. You made a choice to do something, you did your time, and then you made a choice to do something differently that put you in a spot where you are now. So there's not like there's only one choice you can make, and that's it for the rest of your life. But you can't deny that you made a choice that put you in trouble, and then you made a set of choices that got you out of it.
Right? I ain't gonna say that, Mr. Penny.
Well, wait a minute. You're not in trouble now, are you? Okay, don't tell her yourself.
Hey, Red Planet.
Go ahead.
Cross my fingers. I'm cross my arms too. I'm cross my arms too. All right.
Forever and shit, man. You killing me, man. Go ahead, Red Planet. You got something to add? Go ahead.
I agree with you. They say what they say. Opportunity is when preparation meets. I forget the term, but like you know what I'm trying to say. So if you prepare yourself, hopefully it'll work out. But it is no guarantees. But if you prepare yourself, hopefully good outcomes. think positive. You know, that's, you know, it's a lot of stuff we don't do as black folks. I think we don't think positive enough. You know, try to put that good you know, foot forward. You know what I mean? Because you know, I guess there's so much trying to tear us down out here. You know.
Hey Trey, what's going on, man? Trey Ferg, what's happening? Go ahead, man. You got the phone there. What you got on the topic, man?
Okay, so just give me a little rundown of the topic so I can make sure that I understand.
Well, we were talking about, you know, so you miss all my glory days when I said the poem and shit and all that kind of stuff. You missed all that. I mean, I was up there like Ruinyard Clipperland and shit, and you missed all that.
I did miss your poem. I did miss your poem, but I did see your
work. We're talking about choices. We're talking about choices, right? And how choices inform and impact the way we live today. And a lot of people go through life, nobody on this panel, of course, but a lot of people go through life not realizing that the choices they make on a day-to-day basis put them exactly where they are in the future. So we want to chop that part of it up. And here's the second part. If the outcomes of your choices those are the receipts that show you're accountable for the choices you made. You know, nobody else is accountable for that unless somebody was twisting your arm. You know, so but go ahead. What you have on it, man, Trey?
I mean, I think up until a certain point, I always start at age 21. That's when you have no limitations on where you can go in the world, what you can do, what type of destiny that you can set forth for yourself. You gotten out of high school. You should be ready to move out of mom and daddy's house or whatever, start venturing on your own as a man. And it all comes down to the choice that we choose at that point, whether we want to join the military, go to college, get a job, or just be out here on the streets, sell drugs, whatever. All of it comes down to choice. And I think when it comes to other people, only thing I can do is be accountable for my choice in choosing an individual, but I can't really be accountable for her choices or the other person's choices on what they decide to do. I can just make a choice whether I want to stay in it or leave. Unfortunately, a lot of us try to stay in it until we pretty much get to a breaking point and then make the other, hold the other person accountable for the choice that we made to stay in it. That's why I would say if a person does not value you, then you have to make a choice to separate from it. If you stay, you can't complain. I see people all the time. They engaged or in a relationship, somebody cheats and they cheats for a while, and then somebody say, yeah, we gonna get married, and then you get married, you made a choice to discount everything that she done in the past on your watch. Now it's different if she done it on somebody else's watch. Just like men, they'll be with a woman 5-6 years, they cheating on her, they leave her, they break up, now all of a sudden he's married to another woman. The woman that he left, she's blaming him, but she made a decision to stay in that. So I think it's really important now to just, especially going forward, we all got to make better choices. If you 45 still thinking you can make the same choice you did at 30, then you're a fool. You're still a boy. You got to make choices to advance life. Now life is about advancing, and we have to be better. We have to, for yourself. I mean, everybody don't want to do certain things, and that's okay. But as an individual, you have to be prepared for the consequences, the outcomes, whether positive or negative, of the choices going forward. If you're 40 years old and you're still trying to play in this street game, then you're a fool. Because I'm 20-year-old, they're going to overtake you anyway. You in their way. And all men should be ready to go out and venture into the world. That's why we stay in trouble sometimes. A lot of us overstay our place in the places that we grew up, and we don't give those younger children, those younger adults a chance to thrive in those areas. We want to control them. And at some point, it just goes all to shit hell. That's why in the community now, we're in the shit that we in. We need to get out of it. It's been 45 years since we've been in. So make a choice and do better. Other than that, shut up and just get the garbage that you continue to get.
Hey, listen, before you go, Trey, let me just say this. I kind of looked up accountability, and there's all kinds of different ways that people say this, but I like what I found that I like this. It says the obligation and willingness to accept the responsibility for your actions. So they use the responsibility and that whole thing for accountability, but it's really the willingness to accept the responsibility for the choice you made. And then it goes into responsibility. It says responsibility is the duty and task that you are required to accomplish because of what you did. So, if you're responsible for making a baby, then you need to do what you need to do to take care of that kid. Regardless of the fact that the chick opened her legs, you did it. Hey man, tag, you're it. So, but anyway, one of the things that I thought was trying to separate those things and try to make them look like it. And I just thought about the creator himself. I'm not a big God kind of thing. A lot of people are much more spiritual in terms of religious, but I just think about the whole thing when we use God in some stuff. Now, God will do everything, right? He brought floods. He put, boils and locusts and all of that kind of shit to mankind, right? He's got a sense of humor. He's wiped out tribes. He's done all of this shit. But the one thing he didn't do is take away people's choice. The one thing that's clear in all of the Bible is that you have a free will to make the decisions that you're going to make. And he doesn't interfere with that. What he does say, though, is that if you make a decision, you're accountable for it. And don't you dare blame me for that shit. Okay? So he says, listen, I'm going to let you go ahead and make your decision. And you're going to have to live with it, the consequences of those decisions. And that's throughout the book.
R-Pain. Now,
yes.
R-Pain, now that you brought the Bible in, and now you made yourself kind of lose the argument now.
No, I didn't.
The Bible does not teach free will.
Oh, get out of here. Oh, of course it does.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does. Okay, let's let Trey go first, and then we can chop a little bit of that up because maybe we'll get BMU.
No. Please have that conversation about free will. That's interesting.
Okay, go ahead then. All right, go ahead, Ruthless.
So, first of all, free will only exists in your imagination, right? You can't pick your parents, right? You can't pick. Everybody wants to be successful, rich, right? But everybody can't be successful, rich because it just ain't going to happen like that, right?
That's not free will, though.
You can't control your life outcome, right? You could die. People die in car accidents. So many ways, right? You can only tomorrow's not promised to everybody, right?
It's not promised to anybody.
Exactly. So you can't say you have free will if you don't even know if God gonna take you out, right?
That's not free will,
or whatever God has planned for you in your life. Because everything that you get or that you got is a blessing from God. Can we agree with that?
I agree with that, but your definition of free will is
watch it. If you're calling it a blessing from God, that means God gave it to you. So you can't say then you can't take credit for it, right? You got to say, God blessed me to get the promotion. God blessed me with my beautiful family. God blessed me with my job title. I mean, you're giving all praises to God. So then you can't turn around and say, I did that.
No. Hold on for a second. Hold on for a second. That doesn't mean you don't have free will. Because you give praise and blessings to God doesn't mean you don't have free will. I mean, I don't see how one correlates to the other, right? Some people give deference to God because they want to say that the good fortune happened to me because I'm blessed. That has nothing to do with you making a decision to get drunk and go behind the wheel of a car or cheat on your wife or whatever. Because you know what? There's a lot of people who think they're blessed who cheat on their wives. So, and husbands. So you're conflating terminology. Right, so you could give God blessing, but that doesn't mean He took away your free will. You're just giving a blessing for your good fortune.
Well, God gave the man another woman, so you saying God didn't give him that? God gave the man. This still
doesn't take away. Well, you know what? Okay, wait. Let's start right there. God gave you another woman, but He didn't tell you had to stick your Johnson in it.
Why not?
No. He didn't say.
Hold on. Let's go to the Bible, because Abraham and Sarah, right? He got the handmaid pregnant.
Yes,
Right?
against the will of the Father.
Hold on.
Hold
on. Kings had several hundred wives. They had concubines. I don't know what you're talking about.
You're moving the goalposts. Let's stay on Abraham.
Who says God gave
Abraham for a second?
Hold on. God gave King 300 wives. What you talking about? God gave Solomon what? Solomon had 300 concubines too. You think God didn't get that to him? What we talking about? So all I'm saying is,
how do you get the king business, man? How'd that work?
you can't pick and choose. I'm gonna let it play because I'm gonna get some pushback.
You can't, man. This is fun. This is Trace.
You can't pick and choose. You can't pick and choose what God gives you, right? God dictated for you to be on this earth. He gave you your heartbeat. He gave the breath of life, right? And he can take it when you want to, right? So he's already got everything planned out for you, right?
No,
it's just where it goes. Now I know this may be a little strong view for a lot of people because the egos are in the way, but it doesn't matter. God is the master of the universe, and he's coming back, and even as now, right? He's judging. He's putting it down left and right. And if you think you can win, brother, think again.
Okay. So I hear what you just said, but none of what you said negates the fact that you have a choice in the things that you make. None of that stuff negates the fact that you have a choice to take the concubine or not take the concubine. Right? So, and God didn't put all those concubines there because, if you want to say that, because he put all the people on the earth. If you want to go ahead and extrapolate it that way, the truth of the matter is Genghis Khan and all those guys, Solomon wanted 700 wives because he was a horny bastard. And with all of those wives, he still coveted the one wife that he should have left alone. Abraham, his wife told him to go into Sarah's tent. And because he did, we still have the biggest sibling rivalry, bloody sibling rivalry in the history of mankind going on right now. Right now. Because he went into that tent. So all I'm just trying to say, he did that, and God was pissed at him for that, by the way. That's why he made his 95-year-old wife have a baby.
Pissed at who?
He was pissed at Abraham for doing that. Because he told him not to. He told Abraham not to wait for Sarah. I'm gonna make her your whatchamacallit. And so, I mean, I know a little bit about this thing. It's a fucking trail here.
Hold up. Now you underestimate the power of God, because Abraham did not overpower God, right?
I didn't say I didn't say overpower.
God calls, so
he
God
disobeyed him.
No, he didn't.
He disobeyed him.
No, he didn't, because God caused that to happen. He caused the baby to come out. Right? And then God,
you misinterpreted the word, brother.
Sarah said, get rid of her. Abraham, no, I won't. I got me 2 women. Oh, I'm a ball.
Okay.
God said, hearken unto thy wife and get rid of her. So then when he got rid of her, right, Hagar and her son Ishmael, God, the angels came and said, God will bless you, make you multitude, make you
right,
sands of the seas. So all that happened the way God wanted it to happen. See, this is what you got to be careful. God never loses control. Man does not have power to overpower God in any form of this. Just so you know that.
No, but okay, so again, you're conflating the issues, right?
God
told Abraham not to wait for Sarah, and he didn't. So he disobeyed him, and
no, he didn't.
And the reason why he disobeyed him is because God let him have the free will to go into that tent. Because if he didn't want him to go in that tent, he wouldn't have went into that tent. But he let him go in the tent. He banged out the handmaid, and then the wife got jealous. She's doing it. The fucking wife does a Cardi B, and calls him out and shit. And and now then the wife gets pregnant, and she's 100 years old, so she has a baby, and now they're fighting. And we every day on the news we see this big sibling rivalry going on, and they're fighting and killing each other because Abraham stuck his Johnson in a woman he wasn't supposed to. And maybe God wanted that to happen because God is the only one who could stop this sibling rivalry. And if you believe he's coming back, that's probably going to be one of the first things that he needs to do. Anyway, so anyhow, Trey, go ahead, man. What you got to say, man?
I got nothing. I always enjoy a good a good verbal sparring over the word. I always do that. I love to hear it because it's just so subjective to me. And I know people don't feel like it is, but everybody has their own, everybody reads it differently. Everybody interprets it differently. There's usually a general consensus, sure. But you have people who feel different ways, feel different things. Here's the thing. This whole idea of choice and whether or not it dictates, I don't know if it's actually choice if you're not in control of the environment or the stimuli. You're only simply making decisions based on what's given to you, what's in front of you. So, for example, running a stop sign is illegal, right?
Okay.
And if you run it, you can get a fine. If you don't run it, then you just don't get a fine. What real options do you have there? You don't really have an option because there's a punishment, there's a consequence if you do not follow certain behaviors. So I always find that funny when people say, "Oh, you have these choices." Do you really have a choice?
Yes.
Or have things been designed for you to not have a choice? And the way that they mold that is if you don't follow what we're giving you, then there's a consequence behind it. Is that really a choice if there's a consequence? The choice should be I should be able to run the stop sign regardless. I should be able to drive.
We have
That would be choice.
Well, Trey, let me tell you this, right? Listen, every choice is not, I think the basis of choice is varied, right? The kind of choices you're talking about is, do you have a choice to break the law or not break the law, or the ordinance or not break the ordinance? There's a lot of different things that you have a choice. For example, you had a choice to go to the military or not. You had a choice to be a cop or not. You had a choice to do a few things in your life or not. It has nothing to do with ordinance. It has something to do with your personal preference. And the choices that you've made kind of shape who you are now. And so that's all I'm saying. But there's all kinds of different kind of choices. So I'm not trying to ignore that. So you are correct. And so is Rufus in some respect about the fact that do I have a choice to break an ordinance? Sure. But
we all sin. We all have sin.
But hold on, I'm trying to say, but that's not the only kind of choices.
You're a sinner,
huh?
You're a sinner. We all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. So what do you mean? It's our choice. You're a sinner after you come out the womb. You already in direction.
You're sinning coming out the womb. You ain't even done nothing yet.
Somebody else take that one, man. Go ahead, man. Somebody else take that one. I'm out of it. Go ahead, man.
Yeah.
Can you explain that, Rufus? How are you a sinner and all I did was breathe?
Because the laws of God, right, the laws of God are as such, right? When you're born, right, you're automatically.
So are you saying I don't have to commit a sin to be a sinner?
Well, the thoughts are already there. Your mind has already been disobedient, even as a baby.
As a baby, it has.
Wow. The most precious and innocent thing on the earth is a baby, and now the baby's in it. When it takes,
you better read Genesis when God said the angel of death destroy them kids, and the baby's dead.
Brother,
let me ask you a question. In your logical brain, does that make any damn sense? In your logical brain, does that make any sense? How can somebody be a sinner and they haven't actually committed a sin?
Because you're a sinner because God declared you a sinner.
Use your logical brain. Stop Bible thumping me to death. Use your logical brain. Use your logical brain. The person has not committed a crime. They're a criminal.
Listen, there's none good. There's none good, right? Only God is good. Right?
Again, you Bible thumping me to death. You keep stopping. I'm asking you to use your logical brain, and you keep talking about the Bible. Use your brain for just a second. A person who has never committed a sin is a sinner.
Everyone.
That's insanity.
The scripture says all have sinned.
I know you're gonna Bible thump me. I know you're gonna. That's what you're gonna do. You're gonna Bible thump me to death. But your logical brain, it doesn't make sense. How can I put a sin on someone who has never committed a sin?
This is why
you're telling me that you're born into sin. That is ridiculous.
This is why your thoughts are not God's thoughts. God don't think like you.
So, bro, I have a question. I'm being serious. Based on what you presented as far as your past, did you discover this prior to you starting to live the life that you live, or after you were commended from your life? Okay, so your past. Before you got to this point, did you discover this prior to you starting to live the life that you live, or did you discover this after you were held accountable for what you did?
So I was incarcerated when this was revealed.
Right. So right, that's what I'm saying. So prior to that life, you was not aware that you were
before that, right? Before that, I was thinking like the average person, you know what I mean?
Selfish. No, not the average person. A few selfish.
Okay,
not
selfish.
Everybody doesn't think
What you want to call it?
but everybody doesn't think.
You know,
Right.
Going up to the banks with the guns, laying everybody down, taking money. So I guess I was chasing the dream just like everybody else. This is the way I chase the dream, right? It might not have been according to what the law said, but this is what I thought. I looked at the amount and said, okay, this is worth working for this, right? I ain't got to punch nobody clock. I made my own schedule. Been in and out less than 3 minutes, all right? Boom. And I had a very lavish lifestyle. But the point I'm making is, as I thought as a man, right? And a lot of my criminal activity was because I was holding America accountable, right? I use a lot of, oh man,
As a man,
40 acres in the mule. You know what I'm saying? This is what
as a
I'm
man.
doing. Right.
As a man.
But then
But you weren't
God-
thinking, hold up. So you weren't thinking like that as a third grader, right? You weren't thinking like that before you started having sex.
Well, I've always been anti-American my whole life, really. Even when I was 3, 4 years old, I was always never did like it. White people. My fact, they used to send me to the psychologist, talk to the psych, because I used to say things.
You was anti-American at 3 and 4 years old.
White people, yeah.
The cap,
Hey,
right?
look. I used to go to. They used to send me to the psychologist, right? The therapist. To talk. My mom used to always tell, "Boy, don't be saying that." You know what I'm saying? It just been. I don't know. It was just in me. It was just in me. I wasn't a slave. Days. I just didn't. I remember when I was in class. When I was 5 years old, I was in class, and I called my teacher the H word, just out the blue. He didn't do nothing to me. I just called him that. They said, "Hey,
So
you need to talk to him."
with that, was father around in those times? Was father grooming you? In
No,
those
I'm a
times?
single mom. I'm called up a single mom.
Okay. It brings some context to it. Okay, because a father, if he is a father and he's in your life, he's going to challenge those. And I'm sure, I don't know if there's somebody on this can hear my voice and you was 4 and 5, and you was coming to your father with these thoughts in your brain, and he said, "Okay, son, we'll see what's going on later," and not challenge you to help you come out of that thought process. Please show yourself.
What if my father was a Black Panther?
There's no way nobody can tell me that a brother is born already ready to sin, sucking on his mama's titty, peeing in his diaper. There's no way. Because even in the word, the baby is one of the most precious things ever to be placed on this earth. I just don't understand it. And that's the case. The children are doomed. All of y'all going to sin to hell.
Well, okay. So let's do this, Trey. I hear you, and you're right. And here's my thing. Let's kind of elevate for a second and just think from a different standpoint. Are we denying that every man on this panel is where they are today based on a daisy chain? Maybe not one decision, but a daisy chain of decisions that we've made that put us right where we are. And here's the other thing for everybody else out there. If you're still alive, there's a lot more decisions to be made. You know, it's not like the decision stopped just because we're talking about it today, right? There's a decision that you're going to make tomorrow or the next day or the day after that could shape your future. And me being 65, it hasn't changed, right? I'm still kicking it, right? Knock on wood, you know. Let me just say that, right? So all I'm just trying to say is, yeah, there's all kinds of different decisions. And I was kind of talking about decisions in a macro level. So that's why I understand why we can get down into the weeds. But the truth of the matter is there's big decisions, there's good decisions, there's small decisions, there's bad decisions, there's subconscious decisions, and there's unconscious decisions, which I think are the most dangerous. And what I'm saying is, when you come into consciousness, should that make a difference in the way you move in terms of the kind of decisions you make? Because now you're contemplating what the consequences may be. right? So
Oh, now it's starting to come out. Now it's starting to come out. Now it's starting to come
out. That's pretty funny. You know, but it's true. I mean, so all I'm just trying to say is, where do we go from here? Where do we go? I mean, because in the black community, right? Is it safe to say that there's a fair amount of people in the black community sleepwalking through the decisions we make?
Well, I have to push back on the what we call the nuclear family, right? I think the nuclear family is the main reason why we're in the situation we're in now.
Explain that. Explain it. The lack of one, or because of it? Lack of it?
Because of it.
Go ahead. Tell us why. Because
a lot of moms and dads back in the day had conflict, and a lot of this anger towards each other will end up because they was trying to just make it work, was projected onto the kids, right? So the kids then sometimes had to pick a side. Sometimes just they just embraced it. Sometimes they like cut it off, right? Sometimes this was a shell up. So just because of a single mother's nuclear family, most families are divided. Let's keep it real. So we know that just because you have a single parent, just because you have two parents in the house, right? Most of them are divided against each other. They argue a lot. They don't really agree with each other. And back in the day, they were trying to work that shit out. It just got worse and worse. And then a lot of kids became a product of their own homes, of division, of divisiveness.
You got any data to back that up?
Yeah. Sexist marriages, right? We just did it for the kids, right? We stayed in it for the kids. We stated it. We kept it because everybody, the families were judgmental, right? So a lot of people stayed in relationships because they were trying to show that, oh, look at me. But they were home.
You told me a story. You didn't tell me the data. Where's the data?
I gave you data. Sexist marriages, right?
That's not data.
Right?
You just said two.
They were like mom and dad.
That's not. Where can I go? Where can I go find this factual information?
Dumbass.
That nuclear families.
Listen, people tell their stories all the time.
Nuclear families were actually. Here's the thing. I come from a single mother. I would have much preferred a nuclear family. I would have much preferred a mother and a father in the home.
What about you?
It was rough living under a single mother, bro.
Listen, you guys are talking because you guys are missing. Just because your parents were together doesn't mean they were good parents. Just because your parents are together doesn't mean they love each other.
And just because the parents aren't together doesn't mean the opposite either. There are parents that were together that were in love. There were parents that were together that were good.
But that became hatred over time.
How do you hold on? What percentage? Where are you coming up with this? Where's the data on this? Is it 70% of nuclear families from the 60s to the 80s? Like where are you coming up with this?
I'm gonna say this. I know I'm getting pushback from Trey Ferg. I'm waiting on Trey Ferg. But I'm gonna say this, right? 96 to 97% of all marriages and relationships are disgruntled.
Based on what data?
The divorce rate, right? We got data now. We got all this divorce filing for divorces, people leaving each other, right?
The divorce rate is not in the 90s though. It's not in the 90 percentile.
Yeah, because the people who are staying together, right, are internally divorced, even though they haven't filled the paperwork.
So you're talking about soft divorces.
You know what the women are saying? You know what the women are saying, Trey? They said the man checked out a long time ago.
So you're talking about soft divorces. That's what it's referred to.
Right. Okay.
Man, Trey, you want some of that Trey Ferg? Go
I feel surprised, motherfucker. I don't even know why you come in talking about how long you been married, man. You know you lying like a mother based on this rhetoric. Now it's funny because
I never said I was married.
No, I know you're not married, brother, because you wouldn't be talking like this. I know I'm talking about my brother Arpay, who vehemently, since he's been on these spaces and I've been hearing his voice, he speaks proudly of how he has been married and how him and his woman and wife have worked together to raise beautiful children who are going out here thriving. Now, based off your own experience, you see a lot of the results of single mother homes. If you didn't have a male influence to sort of tame that wild tiger you had behind you, you see it in our of us.
Wrong, Trey.
But wait a minute, you chose
the Black Panther Party, right? Came up under dual parent, yet they was very violent. A lot of them went to jail. One of my cellies was
violent.
Proud Black brother, Black family, and they did violent. They killed people or deleted officers and everything. So you can't tell me they didn't have proper. So what I'm saying is, an individual in their own thoughts of a young boy coming up has his own ideas about life, right? He's going to live the life he wants to live. His parents cannot dictate to him the life that he.
Hey, Ruth, can I be honest with you for just a second? I've been on these panels for what'd you say, Trey, for about 8 months now? This might be the wildest shit I've ever heard in my life. The fact that we are saying that nuclear families were the wrong way to go.
Trey, can I say something, Trey, real quick, guys? So if you don't have I'm gonna say this real quick and I'm gonna jump back off. If you don't have a nuclear family, Ruthless, you know what happens?
What happens?
Your little boys, not only will they grow up and probably beat their mama ass, they're probably going to grow up and put their dick in another man's ass.
No.
And so, oh yes. Without male influence, without male influence, I understand. But if you don't get a hold of our boys, this is what happens.
But no.
You're gonna have a whole bunch of men, little boys, saying, "But no."
And so we're gonna say this, right? All I'm saying is there's a civil rights movement, right? Martin Luther King and them, right? They thought it was wise, right? And the best benefit for Black people to come back to our oppressor on hands and knees to try to build a nation within a nation, right? Which we see now that was a bad idea. And then within that, once we were forced to be more parental, more structured with nuclear families, we actually divided more because why? Because a lot of the Black families I'm speaking on were divided because a lot of them sold out. Some of the homies sold out to the white man. Oh, well, I'm just gonna be.
Hey, Ruthless, real quick. When you just talking about when you just talk about the Bible, what does the Bible say about that?
The Bible is definitely against marriage.
What? Nigga, please.
Oh my God.
That's right.
Yeah, I wouldn't go there. I don't know, man.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
Hang on. Please let Rufus talk more about this because this actually is my argument here. So go ahead. You said the Bible doesn't encourage marriage. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what God said to Moses to let him write a bill of divorce, to buy the bill of divorcement, so they could be away from each other because of the hardness of their hearts. So God was actually told Moses, right? Because it was against the law to divorce at one point. But then God said, okay, write a bill of divorcement, y'all can separate.
No, sir. The Bible, I gotta shut that off right now. The Bible says for every man have his own wife, and for every wife should have their own husband. That's what the words say. I don't know what book you read about.
Okay, you go look up. God told Moses, if they're unhappy, they can write a letter of divorcement. It's in the scriptures.
He looked that up in the laws books.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hey, Black man, are you saying there's no truth? There's no truth to what Ruthless is saying, so I can't get out of this?
No. Ruthless is talking about the scripture that says any man who would like to leave his wife should give her a certificate of divorce. Now, but it gives you the rules of why you can. It says that
so it doesn't say that you shouldn't get married.
No, not at all. It says for every man should have his own. It says for every man should have his own wife, and every wife should have her own husband. That's what the Bible. It didn't say anything about you shouldn't get married.
It says that if you do get married, but it's not. You're not condemned if you don't get married.
Oh no! Hold on. No. It's nowhere in the Bible. There were cities destroyed. There were places destroyed because people were out of line with their pussies and dicks. And you're telling me that God is okay? God is okay with people fucking each other without being married? Are you kidding me right now?
Okay, no, hold on. So Abraham, when he had
So, black man, are you saying I'm doomed?
He don't mean it.
Oh, yeah. You gonna bust your wide open.
He don't mean it.
Let's go up in there. When Abraham had sex with his handmaid, he was not married to her.
Say what?
They had a baby. They had a baby inside the house with his wife.
Yeah, absolutely.
What we talking about?
Right,
What we talking
no.
about?
Right, hold on. And also, David fucked Bathsheba because she was naked on the building across the street.
And
that does not mean the entire Bible is corrupted toward marriage.
What I'm saying is, the Bible it's better not to marry. God says.
God didn't say that.
God did not say, don't do that now. Come on.
Hey, Prototype, welcome.
Yeah, come on, Prototype. God damn.
Prototype, man, go get some.
I mean, that was Paul recommending that you not get married, so you can do more work. That's not God. That's Paul's opinion. That's Paul's opinion.
Yeah, Paul says, but see, you
that's
gotta
Paul's
know the word,
opinion.
man.
That's not God.
But you got to know the word. The Bible says, Paul says, I recommend that you do not get married. But if you lust after a woman, you should marry that woman, which all of us do. I ain't no man on this panel and looked at a woman and ain't never looked at a woman and say, damn, I'm gonna tear that ass up. So come on now, let's be real about it. Come on now.
Let's be real. Let me get in there. So let's take the story of Samson and Delilah, right? Samson, he was just having sex with everybody. No, he wasn't.
He
got
married. There was weddings. He told a riddle at his wedding. He got married to them women.
You know what, Prototype? Ruthless. Hold on, Ruthless. Jesus did his first miracle. Jesus did his first miracle where?
Wait a minute, I'm trying to finish my point.
At a wedding.
I'm asking a question. At a wedding. Get out of here.
Come on, Ruthless. Even I know that one.
Oh, look. Samson, right? Samson, Delilah, right?
Samson was married.
God told Samson's mom, this child you have here is a hitman. He's my hitman. He's going to crush the Philistines, right? And then he not grow his hair, don't cut his hair. He not do alcohol, none of that, right? And all Samson did was have sex with a few women and destroy thousands of men, right? Thousands, hundreds of thousands of men. That's all he was here for, right? For one purpose. Now it's to destroy the Israel's oppressors. So we ain't gonna sit here and say that marriage is something that is mandatory in the Bible. No, it is. If you marry,
we didn't say it was.
But it's better if you don't marry, because then you're dealing with a woman like Delilah or Rahab or a lot of these women. They're very weak. They're the weaker vessels, and they're tempted by the devil very easy. This is why divorce rate is so high, because a woman is selling her soul to the devil. She doesn't love the man; she loves the devil, and she loves the sinful.
Divorce rate is so high because men are in leadership.
Huh?
The divorce rate is so high because men are not in leadership.
No, that's not why. Because women is being tempted by the social media.
I was going to be tempted. Read Job, my guy.
How do we leaders? How do we leaders, Prototype, when the government is incentivized? Say, okay, if she comes screaming at us,
look, if you can't be better, if you're not a better option than what the government has to offer, then yeah, you should be divorced.
Okay,
and yep, the Genesis had the serpent, and our women have the government,
which is a serpent. The government is a serpent.
Okay, then. So let's kick their ass out the garden and find you somebody else to grow with.
This is why women are not suitable wives, because they are very easily taken by the serpent. Look at Eve, right?
They're easily taken by the serpent because the serpent got a bigger dick than you have.
Oh, look at that, Mr. Payne. That tickled Mr. Payne. Look, Mr. Payne, how you gonna laugh at me right there, man?
Hey, listen, man. I'm letting you guys chop it up, man. You know, I don't want to be in the way, man. Listen, if this is all
Thank you for not getting in the way. That was amazing.
I just wanted to let y'all keep going.
Listen, gentlemen. This is the mistake our fathers made, right? And then y'all can push back. When they were marrying a lot of these women, they thought these were good women. But the women were teaching the daughters, better get your man with money. You better have 6 figures, 6 feet. Yeah, you better don't be like his dad. He better not, right? A lot of these modern women learned from their moms and their dad. A lot of dads are double talking on these panels. They were telling, oh, you better not marry no broke nigga. He better this, he better that. But they didn't really teach their daughter that money ain't everything. What about character, personality, and integrity? They were just like, hey, I want my wife.
So wait a minute,
Rufus.
So we're going full circle here, right? Because about fathers, about marriage and all that kind of stuff. So now you're coming back around to sound like husbands and wives saying the right thing to each other. Husbands taking leadership, telling the women and the children what to do, right? And
is Ruthless married? Is he married?
No, he's not. No, it's not.
And that's why the enemy keeps saying, "My dick is bigger than yours."
See, this is the
thing, okay, so get it back. Let me just say this. I've been married for a long time. Everybody knows this, right?
Oh, you already told your story 100 times.
So I'm gonna tell a different part of it, right?
Oh shit.
The real part of the story is this, right? I've been married for a long time, but the thing that makes me endeared mostly to my wife, and you can do this, is because she's making the choice to stay. All the shit that she does for me is because she wants to. Not because I be knocking it out, not because all this shit. She finds toughest things any man has ever done is turn down a nice piece of willing, steaming ass piece of pussy. There you go.
Now, hold up.
So
okay. This is a question I have for you.
Hold on. R-Pain, does she actually have a choice if she doesn't have a reason? If you didn't cheat on her and you didn't abuse her, then she can't technically leave you, right?
No, here's the thing. These days, women leave for all kinds of stupid shit.
No. Let's not do that. Because your wife is from a different time. Your wife is from hang on, Ruthless. Your wife is from a different time. They had a different code, different morals, different values at that time, right?
Yeah.
So your wife got married for the reasons that we would want wives to get married for, right?
Yeah.
So if there was no infidelity and there was no abuse, she has no choice. She can't leave you.
And can I tell you something? Can I say something?
And he pay all the bills.
What time is R-Pain's wife from?
And he pay all the bills.
He set me up, bro.
He paid for her car. He paid for his car. He paid for everything.
No.
Yeah, you do. He got that promotion. She said, "Nigga, you better pay."
Hold on, Ruthless, because you unqualified.
You ain't no good.
Ruthless, you unqualified right now. Let me tell you something.
Prototype. I heard that shit, goddammit.
Ruthless, I'm gonna tell you something.
I'm trying to ignore the motherfucker.
Now, Ruthless, you said that.
Hey, is your wife a baby boomer too?
Yeah, pretty much close.
God damn it!
These hoes ain't loyal. You gotta find somebody.
So none of you nasty motherfuckers were even born that back then.
But R-Pain, that's the point I'm trying to make. Your wife comes from a different time, and what the vow she said, she meant that shit.
Right.
She meant what she was saying.
She's been paying the bills for 20 years, nigga.
Hey, Ruthless, hold on, Ruthless. I got something for you. Because you said God is against marriage. If you go to Malachi 2:16, what does it say? It says, "For I hate divorce," says the Lord. That Malachi 2:16. I'll take you to school tonight.
Okay, so now there's something deeper there.
Ruthless, this is what you acting like.
You ain't gonna be able. I ain't gonna crack that code for you. But I will tell you this: R-Pain.
Yes, sir.
He's gonna sit here and tell about his marriage 100 times, right? But he ain't gonna tell us about all the bad things. Of course not, right? He can't tell me that shit is perfect. He can't say he didn't have no ups and downs, and he's paying. But he will tell me.
Ruthless. Let me ask you. I hear this. I go to these.
I can't help it that I'm custom made. I can't help it that I look good, smell good, can dance all night long. I can't help it.
Wait. Before you keep going, right? This whole notion that your life is fucked up if everything ain't perfect, it's idiotic.
I didn't say that.
No, I'm not calling you an idiot. Just think about it. That doesn't mean that any hiccups you have go to the level that you need to break up. Right? I'm serious. I could say one of the biggest arguments that I had with my wife is that she wanted a dog. And think how stupid that shit is. And you know why we didn't get one? Because I said, there's no fucking way I'm gonna have a dog that's higher on the food chain in my house than me. Because I'm not paying for nobody's shit. Right? So the bottom line is we didn't have those kind of issues. You know, so
you didn't want to pay for it. Nigga just say it. I didn't want to pay for the motherfucking dog.
I would like to give some horror stories, but everybody says that if your life don't have some horror stories, you didn't live. And I'm just thinking that I think people manufacture shit to get mad over. I think too many people try to make life more complicated than it fucking is. It's really not that complicated.
Hey,
all you gotta do is just say, all you gotta do is say, I didn't want to pay for
Ruthless, you Mr. Mr. Biggs and Trey R. Kelly. He just been taking all your girls, bro. And it's just a reflection of what you've been through, man.
Hey, hang on a second, black man. Why do I have to be R. Kelly?
You're R. Kelly.
You could pick
He
anybody on the
the
panel.
man that took Mr. Biggs' girls.
Oh man, this is funny as hell today, man. For real.
Hey, listen, there's a book called hey, Ruthless. There's a book called Sex and Culture. And it's a study of a dude who did he studied like 5,000 different anthropological civilizations over the years. And he proved that the most effective means of civilization is monogamous parent household. Yeah, and so it's readily available on Amazon, and it's probably a good read, right? It's called Sex and Culture.
Hey, so Jonathan Majors, did he make some bad decisions?
Yes, he did, and he's paying for that shit. Hopefully, you don't get no real good time because they say third degree, maybe they'll slap him around. Okay. They're gonna make an example.
Marvel already dropped him. Marvel just dropped him.
Can I finish my point, Mr. Payne? I was
yes, sir. Go ahead.
And this is where our forefathers made a mistake. They thought these were good women, right?
God damn it.
And now the results are in. The results are in.
Man, you talking about grandmas, man. Come on. Man.
I'm just saying, the results are in, right? That this is the fruit. These women, these modern women, are the fruit from the tree of the women our fathers thought was good women, right? And now we're bearing the burden of these no good women who ain't good for nothing because they listen to their mama talk about go get your rich man. And that's where we at right now.
I mean, basically, man, these women, the times change, man. You know, the times change. They just not what they was, man. They
listen to their parents. Red parents. The daddy told them, don't break that nigga if you ain't got no car. Don't bring that nigga here if you ain't got no job. And they're making good money. Matter of fact, I want to this is what they was teaching their kids. Money, success. This is what our Payne's whole show about. Oh, outcomes, right? That's what they taught.
Wait. Your daughter can bring home a broke man?
Yeah, I don't care.
Oh, hell no.
I don't care.
But it wasn't about the money, it was about the job. Because men of that time expected a man to be able to build and protect. We all, if you were in America in the 1900s, your ass needed a job to sustain your family. You needed a job. They didn't say it wasn't nothing about the money because guess what? That same grandmas and those aunties, they were able to buy homes, not rent a nice fancy ass apartment. They were buying homes, leaving homes to generations who lost the house because they didn't want to pay $3,000 worth of taxes. So the family worked together. Coming out of that slavery movement, it was 100 years where we worked together from top to bottom. It wasn't about the money at all because none of us had money. Those women carried the same virtue. They respected themselves. Now, as a single parent, it's hard because I can see that, and you can tell me if I'm right or wrong, you took advantage of the fact that you had a mother. You took advantage of that.
This is the problem, right, Trey? They didn't teach their daughters how to be wives. They taught them how to be resource getters. This is why they all got degrees. This is why they all going to OnlyFans. They go to strip clubs, hoeing on Figueroa, selling their pussy. Oh, pay me. Even the women who are with degrees, right? They won't get with a man unless he's making equal to more of them because she's looking at because parents taught them to be capitalists, which also is not conducive to being a good wife. And this is why the divorce rate is so high, because women don't know how to be wives. All they know how to be is equality. They know how to be nagging all the time because they want to be the same shit we in. And that's just not going to work.
Brother, where were you at in 2006? Where were you at in 2006?
I was out. I was doing my thing. My daughter was born in 2010.
So the dynamic.
And I went back to jail.
Really changed.
And I went back to jail.
Hey Trey, you could take over. I think Arpain had a power outage.
All that lies, damn story.
So Trey gonna finish hosting for the rest of the night. Appreciate you, Trey.
That damn story he told, that damn marriage story, that just blew his shit out.
It's up to me. We getting ready to end this thing because I'm leaving.
Tired of that damn story about him and his, I've been married for 50 years. Yeah. Oh, shit blow out. Anyway, listen, man. Ain't none of these women good out here. Need to be careful. You got to move smart. Don't get you some. You got to get you some. We men. We want some. And we going to get some.
What percentage of these women are you speaking of?
Watch this.
It's a very small percentage of women that are on Figueroa.
Watch this, right? Watch this, right? Us men have to evolve and understand that women, they're really
No. Ruthless, answer my question. Answer my question. What percentage of these women are on Figueroa? When we talk about these scandalous women, when we talk about these women, we talk about these women who are out here doing sex work. What percentage of the women are we talking about?
Okay, Trey, hold up. I'm gonna count OnlyFans, strip clubs, Figueroa.
What percentage?
Right? I'm gonna lump that together. So I'm gonna
sex
say
workers. Got it.
Is that 25%?
Right?
About 25-30% right now.
You think a quarter of the women are sex workers?
Yes. And growing as we speak.
Cool. You got any data?
Dumbass.
You got any data to back that up?
Oh man, you just look out here. Look around, Trey.
Is that a yes or a no?
I don't have no data to back that up.
I really feel like your data is. I feel like your data is trust me, bro.
I made that shit up.
That's what I feel like. I feel like everything you say is like, hey, I just know.
Listen. The OnlyFans was a big hit just 2 years ago. A lot of women were bragging about it on Fresh and Fit, talking about, yeah, boom, I'm making all this money. They come to find out they was lying, right? A lot of strip clubs are getting all these women at the droves, man. And Figueroa, I drive past Figueroa to work. Sometimes I used to go to work. It was before, back in the day, it was like 10, 12 of them. Now it's like 30, 40 droves. There's so many of them. Like, damn, this shit is crazy out here. These women, and that, hold on. And let me break it down. Even when you go to the gym, nigga, these women got their ass and pussy showing. They all of them do the squat machine. All of them do back arms, right? I'm like, damn, there's all these 50 machines here. They only use 2, right? And then they come in with their shirts down their toe and they put in a knot so a nigga could be. That is borderline prostitution. Like, they trying to get a nigga to come. I mean, I'm just saying, I don't want my daughter to do no shit like that. So what's happening
fat, bald-headed, no-neck midget, I sentence you to 3,000 lashes for conduct unbecoming a black man.
These women are out here selling their bodies, homie. They're selling their bodies in different ways. So let's take the prostitution strip club way, right? They're going to these relationships saying, I want you better make this much money, or you better provide for me, lifestyle, and if you don't do it a certain amount of time, I'm leaving your ass. This is what's happening.
These women that you're speaking of, are these the women? So if they're saying this, then that means that they don't have a man, correct?
Yeah.
If they have these demands, then that would technically mean they don't have a man.
Right.
Why do we give a fuck then?
Well, because here's the problem, right?
We really don't.
There are still a lot of men, after they accomplish or get their life in order, they want their legacy to build. They want to build something. And there's nothing really to build with out here. So the population
that's just not true.
That's
not a true statement.
There's plenty of women to build with. And those women that put those demands in for the streets, they'll get their due. You know what I'm saying? They get rotated, cycled out. It's like a rental car, right? The rental car gets used, and once the rental car place is done with it, somebody try to sell it to somebody, and it goes to the worst owner ever, right? You know what I'm saying? So it just is what it is. You just let them have their fate. You know what I'm saying? But there's definitely solid women out here. That's one of the reasons why I kind of jumped up, because I get tired of people talking about marriage. In marriage, you can't be happy. Like, why I gotta be such a miserable thing?
Prototype. I'm not disagreeing with you, right? There are some outliers. There are some.
Yes, you are. You are legitimately disagreeing. What are you talking about?
You said that.
That's exactly what you're doing.
This is what I'm saying. I'm saying.
Hey, Ruthless, hold on for a second, man.
I'm not disagreeing with
Wait, brother, wait a minute.
Arpain, let him talk, Arpain, so he can kill himself.
Okay, all right. I'll say. Go ahead, man.
Listen, I'm not agreeing with Prototype. If a man can have a happy home, which is a very small percentage,
it's not. It's not a small percentage.
Bitch.
It's less than 20% of marriages that are happy. That people are actually having a good time. That people are actually able to deal with each other. Most of these women are unmanageable. Most of these women, listen, they got women on here talking about they want to start lesbian nations now, right? These got a lot of these women.
So let them.
Let them go.
All I'm saying is
that's weeding it out for you. Let them go.
What's the lesbian marriage rate at?
I got mine.
Right now? 70%. It won't last long, sir. It won't last long.
I got mine.
Never say another motherfucking word to me.
I was making a point.
Hold on, Rufus. Hold on. Nobody, and I truly believe this, nobody's probably harsher on women than I am around here, right? I am ruthless on them. But even I can agree that there's decent women out here. And it isn't the numbers that you're spewing, I just don't think are accurate. Now, here's the thing. But here's the thing. Well, we can't break it down because you don't have any statistical data or facts.
We can break it down. We can break it down.
We can't break it down. You don't. The women with the can't stop. Ruthless. Brother. Listen to me. I can't operate off of what you think and feel. I'm a man who operates off of statistics and data and facts. That's how I roll. I've always been that way. What you think and how you're thinking this through, that's how you roll. That's how you do things. I can't operate that way. I need some sort of link to some sort of data source that says this is the way things are going. We're talking about a quarter of the women are sex workers with no data, no facts behind it. My mind doesn't compute that way. I need something where there has been some peer-reviewed research done. But the fact of the matter is that there is no empirical data that shows that there aren't an abundance of good women. What we have right now is what you see is a lot of social media that's pushing this algorithm at you day in, day out, showing you how bad the women are. I know because it happens to me on my Instagram all the time. I just keep getting the same videos of horrible women day in and day out. But then I do notice something. If I click on one woman that talks positively about marriage, for the rest of the day, I get nothing but women talking positively about marriage in the algorithm. So there are good women out here. There are great marriages out here. I'm not saying it's easy to find, but is anything really easy to find these days? I mean, has it ever been easy to find? And I'm saying this as a man who's extremely harsh on women, especially black women.
It's good women out here, but there's a lot of villains, man. It's a lot of villains in the sisterhood, man. Was
there more villains in Gotham, or was there more Batman?
It got made up. It's like you see these women. See a lot of these chicks doing some real foul stuff, man. Like this is,
And Red Planet, that's never going to change. There will always.
Okay.
I mean, some of them. You meet some of these. I mean, look at Jeezy. If Jeezy would have met his wife's mama, he wouldn't have married her, bro. Her mama is a fucking terrorist, and now she turned out to be one. Now they're getting a divorce after what, a year, 2 years.
Yeah, but BMU, man, again, man, the guys are accountable for the women that they marry, right? It's just like I like what Trey's saying and Prototype. At some point, we're gonna have to let the women who want to be the way they want to be that way. Like, if you want to go be a lesbian, you're a lesbian. If you don't want to have anything to do with men, okay, fuck it. You take all the men, the last guy who fucked you over, you're gonna project that on the new guy. You know what? You can do that to the next guy, but you can't be my girl because I'm not letting you do that shit to me. You just need to have men stand up and say, listen, I'm not taking this shit no more. Hey, they just had a Zoom to Thailand, and Angry Man did this. This hyena went all the way over to fucking Thailand. She's sitting on on a couch with a couple of Taiwanese women and the Zoom to Thailand dude, and she brought every nasty American black woman trope with her. And her husband sitting next to her looking like, the guy looked like a fucking bodybuilder, and he looked powerless sitting next to her. He was sitting there with his eyes rolled up in the back of his head, and she's rolling off saying how Taiwanese women are fucked up, and it was a Thai woman right next to him. And her's like, holy shit, I can't believe this bitch is over here saying that. I mean, it's going to be all over the internet. If you, so there's a few people doing reactions to it. I've never seen a sister look so bad in a foreign land than I saw her. And the man Zoom to Thailand sitting there, and I wasn't. He wasn't one of his proudest moments because I would have kicked her fucking ass out of the house, And her boyfriend just sitting there like, I don't know what to do, and his wife is going off, man, just fucking spewing the same old bullshit talking points about how fucked up passport bros are, and you just want dumb fucking ignorant women. And it was a goddamn foreign woman sitting on the couch right next to him. I couldn't believe it. Angry Man did a whole bunch of stuff on that. But I just tell you, man, the sisters are just out of fucking control. They priced themselves out of the market, a lot of them. And I think men should stop chasing. Just go ahead.
Well, you missed the big part of that video. If you watch that video, it starts in the place where they were eating, like the little club place. Before they have the interview, that's the day before. If you see the same husband, he's smiling, he's happy, he's dapping dudes up, he's talking, he's happy because he's not really around his wife. And then they have that interview the next day, and then that's what you get. So you're seeing two different sides of a man that's probably in a marriage that he didn't expect for it to go the way it was going, and that could be chalked up to the choices he made when they got married, however long ago it was. However long ago it was. But at the same token, that's the woman you chose, brother. You picked her.
Accountability.
Hey, you can see why he picked her. She was curvy. He wasn't ugly. I see why he picked her, but I think at the end of the day, I don't think here's the thing. I think a lot of you guys that are married, I don't think you could have foreseen the direction that a lot of these movements were going to go. I don't think you guys would have ever seen the popularity of Passport Bros. I don't think you guys could have ever seen 23, 24-year-old men traveling the world and going to date. I don't think y'all could have ever seen it. And it being so exposed and in your face. I don't think y'all could have seen that. I do believe there is a portion, I don't know how large of a portion, I do believe there's a portion of men that now regret being married. I do believe that.
One thing I observed, bro, and I've been to Thailand, you know what I'm saying? And the women over there ain't that dope. Like on a regular, like walking the streets of Thailand, and like attractive women aren't just everywhere, and just going overseas and thinking you're gonna find you the perfect little thing, you know what I'm saying? That's not gonna be the answer for you, because if you lame, you lame. And it don't matter where you at. You know what I'm saying? It ain't gonna work out. So jumping over the pond, I don't think that helps you much.
Well, let me ask you a question though, Prototype. Let me ask you a question. Wait, hold on. Prototype, let me ask you, do you think the guys who are looking for some submission put the beauty over somebody who they could be happy with or jive with? Like, because not every guy wants the most beautiful woman. I mean, I don't think so.
No, I agree. A lot of guys don't want the most beautiful woman. I'm looking to settle for a very
okay
woman. So.
I got numbers for Trey. I got numbers, baby. That's what you want. Give to you.
You don't have to say the number. Just put the link in the back chat. I'll read it for myself.
I won't say it. They're out as prostitutes, right? They're estimated between 1 to 3 million women who are prostitutes, because they said that a lot of them don't get caught. So a lot of them are in a database, right? Then as strippers, 33% of women, not strippers, but OnlyFans. 33.3 women are participating in OnlyFans. That's also add that together. Then as strippers, right, it's 22.6% of women stripping. Now add all that up.
So you're saying a third of all women are in sex work. A third.
Exactly. I said 25%.
Like I said, put the link to your data.
I'll send it to you. But I just wanted to share it with the panel. So I kind of just was giving a rough estimate. but I was damn near close.
So a third of women are in sex work.
Yes. And guess what? Most of your OnlyFans and strippers are college students. So they're going to college and stripping or doing OnlyFans account.
Hey, listen, you know what? I don't disagree. I don't know about the number, but there's no doubt that a high number of women in the West are whores, man. They just are. They're selling, you know, some of them are just coming out of the closet. Before it was subtle, but we already concede that most of the sex between people is transaction. You know, but is it just online? Is it just Instagram? And we know all the women on Instagram, they're 100% transactional pretty much.
Okay.
And so there's a lot of, wait, hold on. There's a lot of.
Are you even on? Do you know how to work Instagram, Marpay?
Yeah, I see it, man, but I don't stay on it.
One last thing. We didn't even talk about 304s yet who do it for free.
No, but what do you mean by that? Go ahead, man. Go ahead. Say what you mean. Maybe I'm mistaken. I peruse, but before you keep going, Rufus, go ahead, Prototype. I go through Instagram, but I don't stay there. I don't like all that shit. But what do you mean? What are you getting at?
What I'm saying is to trade.
Hold on, Rufus.
You sound like how our grandparents. Well, you are our grandparents, right?
Yeah.
So you sound like, oh, that rap music is the heebie-jeebie. You know what I'm saying? That's what you sound like. You know what I mean? Like, all the girls on Instagram or XYZ.
Did I say all? You know, Instagram chicks ain't.
You said 100% of them. Yeah, you just said 100% of girls on Instagram.
They're not transactional. You don't think so? You know, I mean, do you disagree with that? A lot of them are, right?
Oh my gosh!
But I could be wrong. Go ahead, man. So obviously you don't agree, right? Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I mean, that's fair. That's fair. I don't peruse it. Every time I go over there,
Are you saying Instagram is a prostitution site?
I see a lot of tits, a lot of ass, a lot of honeys trying to get attention.
Said something about your algorithm or pain. You happily married, bro?
Yeah. I don't go over there that often.
Yeah, you gotta stop liking big black BBLs.
I don't
and
like
your algorithm will change.
No. When I go to Instagram, right? If you see these things, right, it's just a whole bunch of chicks there, man, with their asses out. That's all I'm saying.
Your Instagram is catered to you, my guy.
No, I can't.
So that's what you see. That's what it is. It's catered to you.
All right. So what do you see when you go there, Prototype? Trucks and fucking, what do you see when you go there? I don't know. Maybe I have to change my algorithm. Help a brother out. What I need to go to change my algorithm?
Start looking at some other stuff. Like if you was a flat earther, I'm sure you would see a bunch of flat earth stuff. If you was a cook, you would see a bunch of cook stuff. Whatever you into, bro. Right. Whatever you like it, that's what you like it, and that's what it's showing you.
Pain, somebody left your message at the bottom of the screen.
I saw that. Hell with it. It's true. So booty cheese. But here's the
RPay got all baby boomer booty clobbers on his IG. Baby boomer booty clobbers.
Hey, listen, man. Okay, fucking man. Hey, listen. I'm showing my naivete. That's all I'm saying.
No, you telling us that you got to look. Instagram is looking you in the mirror. That's your mirror, bro. That's what's in your heart.
No, that's bullshit. That's not.
No, that's true. That's
true. Bro. That's true. Prototype is not lying to you. Listen, even on my YouTube, if I start the morning off and I look at a bunch of like I like fast cars, like Lamborghini, I can't afford one, but you know what I mean? Like I like looking at them and stuff. All I'll see all day are just videos of like Lamborghinis and Ferraris and stuff like that. That you dictate the algorithm. One time I used YouTube for sleeping. You know how you can put a video on, there's a little sounds and stuff for sleeping. Every night after midnight, guess what the algorithm was showing me? You determine how this thing goes, right?
No, well, see, the point is that's why I don't go to Instagram that much, man. When I go there, this is what pops up. So now I know.
Well, our pain.
I'm gonna go there and start changing my algorithm.
Our pain. I just looked at your Instagram, and this is one of the pictures of your Instagram.
Give me a little bit more credit to that shit. Oh God damn.
hell out of here.
Take it down.
So
Take it down.
help me out. I have a question. Help me out. So if they say that there's 2 million more women in the US, right? They say there's 2 million more women, and 2 million seems like a large number. So if that's 2 million more women, you should expect
somebody got a mic they need to mute.
Expect at least 2 million women to just be out there floating and whatever, doing whatever they do. They go from one to the other. It was stripping, then they realized stripping was phasing out. Then they started doing it on, Instagram and OnlyFans. So a lot of those, and we got 2 million more women out there, I would expect 2 million more women are just out there going with the wind, doing whatever. Living broke, pillar to post. So what do? You have fun with them and find your wife in the midst of all of that. You got to be looking. She ain't gonna pop up to you, just like a husband ain't gonna pop up to you. You have to be looking for each other. If you're not, then play the game.
What was the young man?
Shut up.
Yeah, what was the young man name that just left?
Ruthless.
Red Planet.
Ruthless. I was looking at his page as well, and this is his profile picture.
Oh my God!
Now that's about 6,000 pounds right there.
The one on the end with the glasses is the one that just broke up with Trey.
See.
All I got to say is roll tide.
Oh my God!
I want to see
that's
that.
A big
I want
women.
to see that. I want to see that stat where he said a third of women are on OnlyFans. I want to see that.
Now I do know that there was a stat that just came out that said that there's more OnlyFans creators than teachers, but it's only about like 3 million teachers or something like that.
That's a lot of.
I don't know where he's getting. I don't know where he's getting a third from. That's why I asked him to put the link.
Yeah. I want to see that. A third of women got OnlyFans, like 1 in 3. That's worse than herpes.
A third of women is like there's like 170 million women. So a third of women. What is that? That's over 50 million women?
Yeah, maybe not. There's a lot of women. Yeah.
How many are my sisters? Because that's what we affected by the sister.
Pain, just change your algorithm, man. You'll start seeing them clappers every morning.
First of all, I just went to my Instagram page. I got more hard legs and shit up there that I'm friends with than any fucking thing else. So I disagree. Now that I'm I had to go check to see if I'm the pervert you fucking guys was telling me.
You seem disappointed.
I'm not. Huh?
You seem disappointed
saying,
about
it. Wait a second. I'm just saying to myself, wait a minute. I mean, these guys are going.
You seem like when you logged on, you thought you was gonna see something else, and you mad at you did.
I mean, I got family and friends, my Instagram friends and shit. I'm saying, where's all these honeys they talking about? And when I do see the chicks, it's not that I'm on Instagram. I see them posting on Twitter and shit like that, but they're from Instagram.
Stop showing your age. These brothers are messing with you, man. You got to see that coming.
Listen, man, I gotta go double check, man. I'm saying, maybe I'm like in the Twilight Zone and shit. You know?
Nah, listen, R-Pain, I'm gonna give you some real advice though. Don't follow none of them chicks. Don't follow none of them pages.
I don't
go down that rabbit hole. Yeah. It'll change your. I don't follow any of them. I don't follow none of them. None of them pages. I don't follow none of them because as soon as you tap, you ain't gonna see nothing but titties and ass everywhere. Like no, just don't even do it.
All right,
but where's Black David at though? Because I'm about to expose Black David.
All right, final thought. Yeah, I don't know what Black David. Go ahead, Trey. First, go ahead first. Let's go around the horn, man. Go ahead.
No, man. This is a unique panel and conversation today. I think that we just in a gray area right now. I believe most men want to be married, but what they out there seeing is scary. And especially a guy that he knows that he wasn't really, because most of us ain't playboys anyway. Most of us, really want to be accepted by a woman that we like, and hopefully at some point, she will reciprocate it. But unfortunately, just in a lot of this area now, a lot of our women are sort of selling their souls early for the money, but they're not even equipped to handle money by themselves, because that's why they're spending millions and millions on making other people rich. and taking away their natural beauty. For the brothers, man, I know we're going to always do it. We just got to find a way to band together despite our differences of life and growing up. You know what I'm saying? We have to get it together for us. We can't worry about the women. Just have your fun until you're ready. Other than that, I hope that you can get to a space of peace in your own life, man. Say these, at least let your son or daughter have a future. Other than that, we in trouble out here, man. We got to do better. This is crazy. Peace, man.
All right, BMU, you got something? Go ahead before you notice your show. Nothing? Prototype?
Man, I just want to add, we got to stop putting a bad narrative out there that, marriage is really to protect you guys, man. It's to keep you out the streets. It's to keep you from being a victim. You know what I'm saying? If you do it right, man. So people talk about marriage is such a horrible thing, and I'm gonna lose this or I'm gonna lose that. Well, a single man with money gonna lose a lot more too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because he ain't gonna be able to control himself. He don't know when to go home. He won't be like, dang, I shouldn't have did that either. I wish I had a family to keep me in the house. So marriage is, marriage protects you, man. So yeah, man, we need to stop spreading this negative narrative about marriage, man.
You know, it's funny. I was on TikTok and I saw this woman, white woman, and she talked about how her and her friends are free from the bondage of marriage because husbands are so bad and all this other horse shit that she talked about. And okay, I said, this is a typical, misandrous bullshit from a woman. And then she said, you know what? One of the biggest things that I found out that is bad, that men live longer when they're married and they make a little bit more money when they're married. And she tried to turn that shit into a negative. So I told her, so wait a minute. How you going to turn that, a man living longer, into a negative? I said, he's living longer because he has something to live for. You a wife and family, something to strive for, to watch how that chapter, those kids turn out. You want to be around as long as you can for them. That's why he's living long. He ain't living longer so he can torment your stink ass. He's there because he's got something to live for. I said, I can't believe I can't believe you turned a man living longer into a negative. I said, what's the matter with you? And I said, therein lies the fact that you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And so anyway, I appreciate you guys coming up. Like, listen, but the bottom line is, again, choices are where we are in today, right? Everything we do it boils down to a choice, whether it's conscious, unconscious, or not. And so I think once you recognize that you're accountable for the choices you make, the outcomes that come along with it, I think you'll all be better off. So with that, that's my final thought. I don't have to keep going on. Hey, Ruthless, thanks for coming up and giving us the entertainment. It used to be easy money. You could give him a run for his money. So he's going to come back fighting hard because he ain't going to let nobody usurp his rightful position on the BMU network. Anyway, with that, everybody, good night. It was a pleasure. Later.
I can't help it that I'm custom made. I can't help it that I look good, smell good, can dance all night long. I can't help it.